Okay. How many of us have invested in a cryptocurrency, made money on it, taken profits, gotten out, and that cryptocurrency ended up tanking, right? It ended up going to zero or close to zero. But guess what? You got out with your parachute before the plane crashed. And guess what? You took your money and ran. You didn't look back. You don't really care whether it was a scam or no scam. It was a trade for you, basically, right? I mean, that's why that's what people are doing with IEOs. People are basically flipping IEOs, and after they make the money, they don't really care what happens afterwards. Now, the issue, however, right, kind of playing devil's advocate, are the people who get in at the end, right? So in a way, that's where the whole pump and dump Ponzi scheme comes from, right? But I mean, that same thing happens with every asset that gets traded. I mean, if you look at technical analysis on any asset, whether stocks, I mean, even Bitcoin. I mean, do people call I mean, just think about it. People outside of crypto call Bitcoin a scam, right? So if we think of this as kind of as religions, it's like saying you only believe in one God, but all other religions that believe in multiple gods are false, right? They're false prophets. But then also forgetting that there are other people. So basically, you're an atheist when it comes to multiple gods. But then you also have other people who are atheists on all gods, right? Sorry to kind of use that example, but I hope that makes sense, because Bitcoin maximalists call all altcoins scams, but they forget that there are other people, the no coiners, who call all cryptocurrency scams. Okay, so they aren't really any better than them, right? So in a way, they're kind of in the same boat with us. But I think if you're trading, and this is purely a short-term trade, you're in it for like a day to a week to maybe a month or less, you cannot fall in love with the trade, because when you're trading and speculating, you're speculating. You aren't really in it for the long term. So in a way, you don't even care about the fundamentals. You're just there looking at the charts, looking at where it's going. You're charting it. Once it tops, you get out. You're just riding that roller coaster up. And I feel like the toxic behavior from all the people who are in the cult of crypto, they miss that some people are here just to speculate. Some people are here just to trade. They don't give a flying hoot about what they're holding. They're just in it to make the money, right? They're not in this for the tech. They're in this for the money. So you kind of have to understand that perspective as well, right? So that's why I don't really fault anybody who has made money. Right? Somebody just mentioned they bought a Rolex. I mean, hey, congratulations! You made your money you bought a Rolex. I mean, I don't care what trade that was, whether it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Hex. I mean, a winning trade is a winning trade. Don't forget that. Don't let anybody guilt you into not making money on a trade because they believe in the philosophy on something, right? If anything, I would say the people who have that kind of mindset don't make money. Right? Those are the people who blindly hodl to zero. Okay? And one thing about us is we're not here to hodl to zero. I mean, we make our hypothesis on a trade or investment, right? We say, okay, this is the data, whether technical analysis or fundamental analysis. We get in. If it goes our way, we take profits and we keep on riding into the sunset to the moon and beyond. But if things don't go our way, or if the party is over, we take profits and get out. We don't stay there and fall in love. I mean, perfect example, Icon. Icon made 100x on that. Wabi made 100x, almost 140x return, 150x return, I think. Made money on it. But guess what? When all of crypto came crumbling and crashing down, nobody mattered. It didn't matter whether you were Icon, Wabi, Bitcoin, everything came down 80%, 90%. Did I sit there and fall in love with Icon and hodl all the way? No. I mean, because I got into Icon at 12 cents. Rode Icon all the way to $12. I mean, talk about memories for a lifetime. Then I sold all the way up gradually and all the way down, and I've sold everything at when Icon was around $2 something, like $2.30 something, I believe. And guess what? All of crypto Twitter said, "Oh man, Ian is stupid. He's sold the bottom. You know, Ian is capitulating." But guess what? I just zipped my mouth, took my money, because at the end of the day, it's never wrong to lock in a profit. Right? Let me repeat that again. It's never wrong to lock in a profit. So I zipped my mouth. Well, actually, sorry. I did clap back on some people on Twitter, but it was minor. Took my money, went on a crypto world tour, came back a year later. Icon price, 20 cents. I mean, I should have just taken a screenshot of those tweets and just replied back saying, this didn't age well, right? But you know what? I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? People are going through tough times. Market, we're in a bear market. You know, they probably just kind of learned the lesson. At the end of the day, I mean, don't try to follow the crowd, the hype, especially on crypto Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter here and there, but I'm not really that active anymore because it's toxic. It's basically herd mentality. And for anybody out there who's read Nietzsche, I mean, first of all, a genius, one of the best. I think my favorite philosopher, I think me personally, the best philosopher of all time. He has something called the herd mentality. And if you go on crypto Twitter, it is the perfect example of herd mentality. Let me see if I can find a quote by Nietzsche on the herd mentality here. Because if you understand this, oh man, I mean, you will truly understand crypto, because markets and the way are the same way, right? So let me see if I can find the quote. Just give me a second. Okay, so here I'm finding some pictures on, okay, I pulled up Google here. So he has a quote here. Insanity in individuals is something rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. Okay, let me see if I can find a better one. So collective fear, actually no, that's not Nietzsche. But I mean, I definitely recommend you read some Nietzsche. Nietzsche for your life is good. It helps you become a free thinker, right? Because at least people ask me, how am I so independent? Or I guess, why do I believe so much in my independent views? I mean, from just learning more from people like Nietzsche, right? Now, he had a better quote that I do want to find. So books I recommend, Beyond Good and Evil. The Will to Power is a good book as well. It's even here on Wikiquote. Okay, sorry, just give me 1 second here. But anyway, I'll just stop there because I have been kind of rambling too long. But I mean, at the end of the day, you want to go against the grain. Don't just follow what people blindly say on Twitter. And you have to be willing to stand by own convictions. Sometimes even if it's just you, right? Because I mean, so many people said Hex was a scam. And yes, it may end up being a scam. I mean, I'm not saying the pump and dump is over, but I'm saying just because something does not look good, I mean, if you're just purely trading something, why do you care, right? I mean, you just if you're a day trader, do you say, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, Ethereum's a scam, Maker's a scam? You just get in, stop loss, profit, boom. Okay, but with that being said, I mean, be careful out there. Don't get wrecked, especially with Hex, because it is a risky cryptocurrency. But I mean, good to see some people made money on it. I still would not advise me personally putting any money in it, even though it's kind of ironic what I've just said. What I did say, if you go back to all the other videos I've made about Hex, was take the free money, because an airdrop is an airdrop. And if you have 10 BTC and somebody's going to give you 10 Bitcoin worth of free money, I don't see in what world you would not take that money. Okay, I mean, and then if you've already sold that and made even more money, if you made like what, a 6x return on that, I mean, scam or no scam, I mean, that's the best scam ever. I mean, if you got free money and that free money did a 6x, I mean, that's called charity. I mean, Richard Hart is about to turn into Jesus. Hex Jesus. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. be careful. You know, once again, be careful. There's so many risks in crypto, especially with hacks. But hey, if you have that free money, cash out, cash out.